Putting aside the remarkable quality of the games, Kingdom Hearts is an accomplishment in that it even exists. Convincing Disney to let them use the characters and worlds of a whole bunch of films, including their mascot himself, was a huge gamble that could have been a disaster if not for the talents of its creators. Last year, the entire series was released on the Xbox One, and now it's coming to the PC as well, exclusive to the Epic Games Store. Here's 5 things you need to know about Kingdom Hearts. When director Tetsuya Nomura first went in to talk to Disney, he realised that he'd somewhat misjudged the situation. When he sat down surrounded by all of these Disney staff members, they immediately started pitching to him, and they all had specific requests about what game they'd like to see. This was his first time directing, but he had come from the Final Fantasy team, where everyone was constantly coming up with their own independent ideas. And so this was an unfamiliar situation. Eventually he cut them off, stating that he wouldn't be making any of their ideas, and instead started describing his earliest ideas for the game. Kingdom Hearts was a wake-up call for those at Disney Interactive who'd previously been licensing out largely unsuccessful tie-in movie games to whoever would create them. But of course, it's hard to make a good game out of a movie, and there's not many talented game directors who'd want to take up such an uncreative project. Before Kingdom Hearts, they'd been quite strict about the usage of their properties, but over time, they became more accepting. In the first Kingdom Hearts, they were only able to show Mickey once from a distance, but in 2, he gets plenty of bizarre scenes. This also opened the way for the epic Mickey games, which also had their own interpretation on the company mascot. One of the biggest contributions Disney made to the series was the involvement of Disney Character Voices, a recording company that does the voice work for the films. And they're also involved in all the spin-off material and will often work with replacement voice actors for the cases that they can't get the original actors back. This is the case for a lot of roles within Kingdom Hearts, except, notably, 2 of them. Both Peter Pan and Alice in Wonderland were created in the 1950s, and thus the voice actors who were closer to the characters' age at the time are now much older. However, Disney Character Voices still works under a specific system. The original voices must always be asked first. But when they asked Catherine Beaumont, the voice of Alice and Wendy, if she'd be interested, she accepted, reprising her role after 50 years. The Square Enix team included many different worlds for many different reasons. Some were variety, some were just a personal favourite of the team, but when it came to Tron and Pirates of the Caribbean, it was technical. In the first game, they were only adapting animated works, but they'd been working on tech to create more realistic characters, which would eventually be used in Final Fantasy XII. So to test themselves, they opted to create 2 live-action worlds in Kingdom Hearts 2, the first being Tron and the second being Pirates of the Caribbean, which wasn't actually their first choice. With Kingdom Hearts 3, their capabilities had advanced so much that they were flexing with their return to Pirates of the Caribbean. But perhaps the biggest flex in Kingdom Hearts 3 was the Frozen world. It was the one with the most restrictions from Disney and has the characters participating in the events of the film. However, this opened up an opportunity for the cinematics team to have a go at testing their mettle against Disney animation. Cinematics director Takeshi Nozue and assistant director Yuki Akama worked tirelessly, rewatching the original animation over and over again, memorizing the choreography. In the end, they worked to not just mimic the final result, but also the intention of each movement. Only then could they understand the Disney animators' process and create work to the same incredible level. Thanks for watching OTAQUEST in Japan. Feel free to subscribe to find out more about the art and creation of Japanese pop culture.